Listening to our strength coaches talk about the off season, I was extremely pleased and like the look of our team. Obviously haven't put pads on yet, but they seem to have a great spirit about them and want to compete. Our theme this year is Rise Up. I really enjoy this 2 week of camp where we can really spend a lot of time of speaking truth into our young men's lives, hoping that it will take and impact their life outside of football. Our three things we're really concentrating on is being competitors that love to win and hate to lose in every area of our life, understanding the meaning of sacrifice, others before self, and learning to communicate, which builds trust and being a transparent young man. So we've had a good kickoff. We've got some great speakers lined up to come in and share some truth with us. I look forward to those guys, and then continuing to try to elevate our program to where we can compete year in, year out for the Southeastern Conference and the Western Division. And really like the look of our team, love our coaching staff, the chemistry and consistency that we've been able to maintain here. Thanks a lot to our core values and to our administration for continuing to support and do things here that are making Ole Miss, very relevant in the college football scene. So it's been a good 2 days. Look forward to getting media days done and really locking in for 2 weeks with our team and hopefully building chemistry. I've said it before, I really believe that one of the differences in this conference between winning close games and losing them, besides breaks that sometimes happen, is the chemistry that's formed in that locker room. And so we'll depend upon the leadership of our team. We've got a leadership council that's been formed that has really spent some time with me, and I really like kind of the things they're trying to get accomplished in that locker room. So looking forward to the season.
All right, raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Do you have a question?
Hugh, I know it's only been a couple of days, but you've got a number of newcomers on like that finally arrived, Greg Little, Deontay Anderson. To see all these guys, what are your first impressions? I
love what I see. I mean, they're learning. It's a learning curve. We're splitting practices. With the young kids are getting 12 or 8 periods, by themselves, where it's all teach. And in the first 2 days, really like what I've seen from those young guys. And they're good kids, and they're obviously talented. But I think that I think this could be our best class from just 2 days of being out there. We've had some good classes, but I really think from top to bottom, this 16 class it looks after 2 days, whatever that's worth. I haven't been disappointed.
Hey, you didn't see Jeremy Liggins out there. Can you tell us a little bit about his situation?
Jeremy he's being withheld from camp for violation of team standards, and we're working with him to get him back out there as soon as we can.
Give an update on Tony Connor. How's his progress going? I know he's going to hope to be ready right about now. Is he close? Or?
Well, I haven't watched today's film, but my instructions to the coaches are get him to the bus. So his reps will be, he knows what we're doing. He knows our scheme. He's one of our better football players, and I asked him last night how he felt. He said he felt great after the first practice. I hadn't seen him after today, but I know in the perimeter drill he caught my eye a couple of times being normal, and that's exciting for us.
Hey, Hugh, I know it's been kind of a tumultuous off season and everything. Does the NCAA stuff and all that, does it take away from the joy of kind of having the program where you want it right now, or does that kind of go away when you get on the football field?
Yeah, it hasn't stole our joy at all.
What's your first impression of Rommel Mineo?
Quick learner. Have to run him out of the building. He's a football junkie. I love that about him. and anxious to get pads on to see how he does, but didn't see many mistakes that he made yesterday, and it's brand new to him. Same thing for Bing Dukes. I think both are very similar, man. They just they want to learn, they want to know what to do, and still early. They move fine. I think we got two guys there. They're going to help us.
You mentioned Romel and Being Dukes of two guys that could help you, the newcomers. What other guys, when you look out there, I know Greg's obviously one, Deontay potentially two of those new guys, who all do you think could help you in terms of position or whatever?
Well, it's still early. Miles Hartfield has had flashes where you think, so are some of those redshirt guys, Montrell Custis and Eric Sweeney, Armani. All those guys we're depending on to see, but it's way too early for me to say, these new guys are definitely, but I like all the old linemen that we signed. I think they've got potential to be really good players, but it is a development time that most will have to have, but some will have to be quicker than others because of needs. But excited about all those kids you mentioned, and I think Ross Donnelly has caught my eye. Herbert Moore is going to give us some reps, and he's a really good two-gapper, and it's something we hadn't had a lot of besides Woody in the last few years. So Isaac Gross being back is like a breath of fresh air. So there's a lot of guys that are catching my eye right now. Conyers being back, he's a leader.
Coach, which position do you feel like you need to develop the quickest before FSU?
Everybody's going to say O-line. That's probably going to be the answer every year, just because of the talented defensive lines that we face. They've got the toughest task. We need to develop some depth behind Evan at tight end. Octavius Cooley looks like he could be a special player. He's got a learning curve. He's got to get quickly, but and then probably linebacker. Just making sure that we've got exactly. Willie Hibbler's caught my eye a few times at playing the Mike linebacker also. So it's early to tell. After a couple of weeks, I'll know more on that.
With Jeremy being out, what does that do in terms of the competition there and what you need from Alex and Greg even to accelerate kind of their progress?
Yeah, right now we're playing Alex, Rod Taylor, and Greg at left tackle, and I kind of like all three of them. I think they all have potential to be good players. We obviously want Jeremy to be back quickly and get in the swing of things, but to just provide even more depth and competition there. But those three are pretty good competing right now also.
Probably not fair this early in camp, but A.J. Brown kind of reminds me of Laquan Treadwell in that mold. You see that kind of potential in him?
If I were to compare, I tried to do this. One of the scouts out there before we started practice asked me that, and how would they compare day one to day one? And I would be hard-pressed to say that A.J. wasn't farther along at this point. Now, what that means long-term, who knows, but he certainly has been impressive. So has DK.
All right, we'll take some questions up top.
You with chemistry being so important with this team and what you guys are doing, how do you keep you guys focused on what's happening on the field, not getting caught up in the outside distractions, and how important is that to get yourself ready for kind of a daunting, challenging schedule?
Yeah, it's a lot easier than you guys really believe because of kids. They understand that they have zero control and zero to do with a lot of the things that are going on, and we kind of got the Rise Up theme from Ezra 10:4, where it says, "Rise up, you control this," and the whole deal is, man, you get to control what you can control, and that's everything that happens on that field, off the field, in social decisions, academic decisions, and in this room, and that's what you should concentrate on. And when you see the kids doing that, it's quite a motivator for our coaches.
Hey, Coach, right up here in the middle. Taylor Polk told me a couple years ago that his goal was to be a starting linebacker at one point and then, excuse me, lead the SEC in tackles. How far along is he just cracking a starting lineup for you and getting to that goal he set for himself?
We're certainly glad we have him. He's had some injuries, and it has slowed him considerably in probably his desire to achieve that. But in the meeting this morning, staff meeting, our trainers think that he's close to being able to go every practice and every rep. We'll see when we get pads on, but he's had a difficult time this past spring and off season with some shoulders, and he plays the game like it's supposed to be played, and sometimes our bodies don't hold up as well, but I think he's close to being 100%.
Talk about Ellie, the quarterback, and have you seen a change in him since the offseason going into his second year of the program?
He's hungry. He's determined. He's today in practice, I thought he was very, very sharp. Looked like he did at the end of the season last year in our Skelly competition, which is an offensive drill. I'll confess that on the front end, but typically there's decent competition, and he completed the first 12 of 12 throws in that, and it was really, really sharp, and the ball was going to the right place. He's getting the protection set right. I think that he looked really good.
Any more questions up top?
And just about Shea Patterson, how have you seen him the first couple of days? How's he looked?
Really good. You know, for a true freshman, to have the mental capacity that he has for the game, to be able to pick up as fast as he has. His mechanics are very, very good to begin with, but sometimes, you know, you would think that a true freshman gets out there and all the different things he's seeing from defenses could rattle him some or confuse him some. It happens very few times on him, which is very pleasing to us.
Are any more questions up top? Can I follow that up? Sure.
Yeah. Do you have any idea when you would have a timeline for like deciding to redshirt or just play him, or how are you going to approach
No, we haven't. We probably won't think about that until we get into the games. He'll be traveling with us, ready to play, and we'll kind of make that maybe even during the course of games. So it's not something we are going to discuss this early, but we're getting him prepared to play.
Thinking of the question up top here on the end.
Coach, how's Derek Jones? How has he improved over his last few years now heading into his senior season?
We're talking about the receiver, Jones. He's a kid that I wish we could have redshirted when he started, because we probably haven't given him the number of opportunities that his talent deserves, and we're hopeful that we can figure out a way to make that happen for him.
Any more questions up top? Or we'll go back downstairs, down to the bottom.
Can you give us an update on Fadal Brown?
Came out of the boot today. I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone, but when I saw him on the field out there, I said this, and he said that. So y'all get that on video, those of you that are tweeting it. I don't know how you tweet that, but I'm sure there's an emoji for it.
Hugh, when you look, it's right in the middle. When you, it's never easy, but have you ever seen a schedule like this right off the bat for your guys, where there's really no time to ease into fall camp because before October 1, you play 3 top 15 teams?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've never been on a staff that faced a September quite like what we're facing. It's not hard to motivate our kids. They understand what's in front of them, so that's a positive. The negative is you're playing some very difficult teams, and you can be, you know, a top 15 team, and you're going to be in some battles right away, and you're not sure how they'll go. So it is a very difficult schedule, and I don't discount even playing the Wofford on week 2 on a short week. They play on a Thursday night, and they have a long week to get ready for us, and we're going to get back early Tuesday morning and get ready to play an offense that's not the easiest to defend. So I think the entire September is a challenging one.
You've done so much with this program over the last few years, but is there still a motivation that there's still more to be done and there isn't enough people outside of maybe this area that realize the steps that this program has taken?
Yeah, we could talk a long time on that one. I assure you there's motivation. I'm more motivated than I've ever been to prove that the young men that choose to come to this wonderful university and sacrifice to try to change the narrative around this program, we're very motivated to develop them and give them the best chance to compete in a very difficult conference and a very difficult schedule, and they deserve that. And we believe in our staff, we believe in our core values, and we believe in these young men. So there's a tremendous amount of motivation to remain consistent.
Hugh, you guys were awfully complimentary of Van Jefferson back in the spring, and then he looked like he was, I guess, running with the ones as much as you run with the ones this early in camp. What does he bring to your receiver core and your offense that maybe you didn't have a year ago?
I think he is in space, he's the best route runner we have as far as getting in and out of breaks, and his hands are very, very, very steady. He's got adequate speed to stretch the field, but really in tight quarters, I think when he gets out of a break, his separation is as good as any I've coached here. And I think that's his gift, and you can tell he's been coached. Of course, his dad is a wide receiver coach in the NFL for years, and there's probably no accident that's the case. But I think when you start watching one-on-ones and grading those one-on-ones, the guy's very difficult to guard in and out of breaks in a one-on-one situation. He understands the spacing, understands when to tone the route down, when to speed through a zone. He kind of just has a feel for it.
Hugh, is there a time that you would like to see your left tackle position settled in advance of game week or the opener? Is there a timetable for that?
As long as we have the two deep, the guys that we're going to, know we're going to play. I mean, you're going to play both of them early on in all likelihood. So we'll travel three for that position, I'm sure. And, I don't get hung up on really who's the starter in game one. And, I just want kids that are ready to compete and have a knowledge of what we're doing. And I'm confident that Matt will get them there.
Hey, Coach, two questions. First, I guess, has there been any change in Charles Wiley's legal status that allowed him to practice today?
Charles is, if we played a game today, Charles would not play. But all the knowledge that has been given to me, all the information that's been given to me, feel like he should still be practicing until things, to whenever the courts decide whatever the case is, and then we'll make a decision at that point.
And then with Greg Little, I mean, everyone's kind of expecting him to start eventually at left tackle. How difficult is that for a true freshman to come in, like Laramie did, and start, 8, 9, 10 games or something?
With them coming in and getting in shape like they do in the summer, it's really how much they contain of the knowledge of how to play that position. We obviously think he's super athletic. As all freshmen, they could stand to be stronger. And Paul will get him there, no doubt, in time. We do think he's a future really good left tackle. When that takes place is hard to say, but he wants to do it, and he learns and he studies, and so I think the learning curve, he'll handle that well.
Russ Jones, howdytoddy.com. Handful of scouts out there. Any idea what they're looking at, who they're looking at, what kind of things?
Football players. We have a few here. They're going to make their rounds to every school in this conference, and so that's what they're doing now. We had a bunch here yesterday and today. We'll let them come throughout the first 2 weeks of camp, so they'll be here every day looking at all the kids that are on their radar.
You, with the NCAA now holding head coaches accountable for their staffs in terms of rules violations, are you worried about any possible suspension or any other personal penalty for yourself from all this?
I'm worried about our football team.